Hello, everybody, and welcome back to SportsPoint. Happy Halloween to all those who celebrate. Hope you had a safe Halloweekend. And hey, Halloween's tonight. Still continue to be safe. And then we start November. My name is Frankie Breit. Thanks so much for joining us here. As always, I've got my lovely co-hosts, Brody, Kupsky, Liam, Statz. Boys, how's it going this week?
It's cold.
It's Sports Equinox Day.
Sports Equinox
That's
Day.
amazing.
So it's 2 different days. Today's actually Monday.
Yes.
But the day you're watching this is Tuesday.
Yes.
So really it's...
Yesterday was Sports Equinox Day.
Yesterday was Sports Equinox Day. And today it's Halloween. And also trade deadline for the NFL.
Yes.
Which we'll get into this week, or this week's episode. So a lot to talk about this week. Oh my goodness, the script has never been longer. Got a couple updates for you. I know.
Longer.
We got a couple updates for you around the sports world. We're going to start off with Major League Baseball. Head over to NASCAR. Our first time talking about NASCAR. Head to the NBA. And as always, get back to the NFL. Brody Kupsky, start us off with your MLB update.
Okay, so MLB updates. It is the World Series now. The 2 teams that made it are the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Texas Rangers. Sadly, the Diamondbacks make it after the Brewers, let them pretty much get a free chance to the World Series.
It continues.
It does.
The rain continues.
It's sad. So we're already 2 games in. As of this recording, there is a game being played tonight. That is Game 3. First game was won by the Rangers in 11 innings after being down, I believe, 5-3. Corey Seager ties it up with a 2-run home run. And then in the 11th inning, Adolis Garcia, ALCS MVP, hits a walk-off home run to win Game 1.
I saw a reel on Instagram where they synced it. You know the movie Moneyball?
Yeah.
Where Chris Pratt hits the walk-off
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
very end of it based on the real story. I saw where they synced all the music and stuff to that.
No way.
They do those a lot.
Yeah,
That's
it
really
was
cool.
Yeah.
really actually pretty cool.
Nice.
And then in the second game, the Diamondbacks really took control, won 9-1 with 16 hits. So,
That's crazy.
It's tied up there. A lot of good things out of both teams, and I guess we'll see what happens tonight.
So far, a good showing, an entertaining World Series up to this point. You're just surprised by the Diamondbacks putting up so many points to the young team, but I need to ask you this. How often does the team that beat the Brewers in the playoffs win the World Series?
I believe out of, I want to say 11 times that's happened. I'm guessing on that. I want to say about half of them maybe do.
That's still good odds.
I think about half of them
Good
do.
chance.
The Braves won a couple years ago. The Dodgers won the year before that. The Nationals won the year before that. I want to say the Cardinals did after they beat the Brewers in the playoffs. The Phillies
that
did.
can happen.
And back in 1982, when the Brewers made the World Series, the Cardinals beat them. So
Yeah.
I guess you can kind of count that. So about 6.
We'll see.
Technically
And
speaking.
it could be continuing. Let's be honest, it probably will.
Oh, no. That's his call right there.
It's sad, but good for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
It's the scary part about this, since it is Halloween. This is not going to be my scary story, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks in their 2001 World Series run started out the season with Randy Johnson hitting a bird. It's famous. You can look up the video.
It exploded into a million feathers.
Oh, I seen that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scary enough this year, Zach Allen, the ace for the Diamondbacks, hit a bird, I believe, in spring training this year, like Randy Johnson did in 2001.
Oh.
And then
Prophecy.
and then there's like
It's a prophecy come
a
true.
couple other things that kind of was the same as 2001. I can't remember now, but it's scarily similar to 2001. So if that's a sign, it looks like the Diamondbacks are winning.
Halloween, man, you never know what can happen. I forgot to explain what we've got going on here. So as you can see, we've got the Halloween decorations on the set. We've done a little Halloween thing where we kind of dressed up. We really didn't. But we're wearing jerseys of players who have retired or since moved on. So that was kind of the genre for Halloween, because that's kind of like, they're dead. They're moved
spooky.
on.
They're not around anymore.
Aaron Rodgers, that's me, obviously not dead, not retired.
Dead to all of us.
I
Dead
was
to
gonna
all
say.
of us. Dead to me. I'm just kidding. I miss you so much. You're one of my favorite players of all time. Hope
He's
you're
coming
doing
back.
well.
That's the worst part about
He's
it.
doing dropbacks. Did you see?
That's crazy.
I did.
He's planning on that
That's
Achilles,
crazy.
and he's dropping
coming
back.
bro.
not to say that I wished he was back. I'm glad we moved on. It was time to move on as a franchise. Have you also noticed how the fans who were saying Aaron Rodgers should be gone, I hate Aaron Rodgers, get him out of here, are now the fans that are saying, oh, Rodgers, we're so sorry, please come back.
They did the same thing for Brett Favre, though.
Yep.
And that's exactly the same. And I'm not saying that I'm with that group. I hate that group. I think that group is all bums.
Fair weather fans.
Because they're just quitting on their own team every time.
Fair weather fans.
Whoever's on the team, they're quitting on.
They only care when their team's doing well. That's
Exactly. Yeah. So you guys, what do we got over here?
So my jersey, I have too many jerseys of retired players, so it made sense. I thought about getting a Montreal Expos jersey.
That would be pretty
just
cool,
because, but I didn't think it was going to come in time, so I didn't.
Tom Brady, last player drafted by the Montreal Expos.
Facts. That's actually true.
Mm-hmm.
So my jersey is my favorite first baseman of all time, John Olerud. Very underrated player from the 90s.
Is that fact checked? It's on the back, guys.
Yes. Very underrated player from the 90s. He is a two-time World Series champion. I want to say 5-time Gold Glover. And is really, really underrated because he wasn't a power-hitting first baseman, but a contact-hitting first baseman, which to me, it's close to heart. So
Yeah. Very cool. Liam, what are you wearing?
I am wearing a borrowed, thank you, Kupsky, a borrowed Roberto Luongo jersey, who was a all-star goaltender for the Vancouver Canucks, and then later in his career, the Florida Panthers. Very recently retired within the last 5 years. It was very good. I don't think he ever won a cup, which is unfortunate because it's one of the people who, did so well, and you recognize them, like the Twins who used to play for the Canucks. I can't remember their names right now, and that's going to haunt me from now until the end of time. But could not get a cup. So, but thank you, Kupsky, for this. I did not have too many of my jerseys on hand, so I appreciate that.
What's the streak on the Reese Kupsky mentions?
I think every
it just keeps
episode so
continuing
far.
every episode so far.
I told him this. It's easy because he watches sports. He is my brother.
Yeah.
And he goes to a school that's in the WIAC, so it's super easy.
How can you get away from it?
And Stout's not winning anything this year, just so you know.
He is part of the SportsPoint lore.
We should get him on the show one of these times.
He'll talk about Stout hockey.
Definitely.
then,
I'd love to see that play out.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
actually.
Well, hey, that's what we got going on for Halloween. We're gonna keep on moving with the show. Like we said, we're talking about NASCAR. It's the final week of the season, Brody?
It is actually the final week of the season, so I'm gonna go over this quick because Frankie told me to.
It's a long show.
NASCAR is a sport to me. The drivers go through a lot. Deal with it. It is a sport.
So esports too also is a sport.
It's true. So the final four is happening this week. It is in Phoenix, which has been the site of the championship the last 3 years now, since 2020. The final four in the NASCAR playoffs are my favorite driver, Ryan Blaney. Love the guy. Almost met him.
Almost.
Very close.
How did that happen?
If we can go over it quick. So
Please. I want to hear it.
I was in Indianapolis this past August, and I got pit passes. I believe my grandparents got me pit passes. Thank you.
Shout out.
That is a huge shout out. And I was walking around, and all of a sudden, people were crowding around somebody, and it was Ryan Blaney, who is a very popular driver in NASCAR. And he started, because they had practice that day, and he was starting to walk away, and I was gonna say, hey, can I get a photo? But I'm like, I'll let him go because he's probably really busy right now. And he needs to get to his car. So that was my experience almost meeting Ryan Blaney.
Dude, you're so sweet.
I know.
Ryan Blaney owes this man a picture.
I truly would love that.
Do you even know who Ryan Blaney is?
Yeah. I follow NASCAR.
Oh, okay.
A little
cool.
bit.
Yeah, I have no clue what any of that
Oh,
is.
really?
Not even a little bit.
I think Ryan Blaney might be my brother's favorite driver too.
That's a great pick.
What number's drive again?
12.
What did he used to drive?
21.
Okay. I'm not sure. It might be somebody else. Mine growing up was Jeff Gordon. I know that's very basic.
I mean,
I miss that guy
That was
so
mine
much.
when I was very young, and then it switched. But anyway,
because I started watching on the later end of his career, and he won in Martinsville in 2015 or. Was that 2015? He was filling in.
2015, 'cause that was his last
filling in
year.
for somebody, and
Mine was Matt Kenseth, and that's only because he was from Wisconsin.
I hate that guy.
Really?
I hate him.
Yeah.
Why?
I love Mac.
Anyway.
Anyways, back to my.
He's got beef with Matt Kenseth, I guess.
I do. He fought me.
So the final four is Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, William Byron, and Kyle Larson. They look to battle it out in Phoenix. The way that they made it in, so if you win in the round of 8. It's 6. There's 4 rounds. Round of 16, round of 12, round of 8, and then final 4. Blaney won at Martinsville the last race to make the final 4. Bell won the week before in Homestead, and then Larson won in Vegas the week before that to make it in. And then William Byron, just based on points and how many wins he has this season, he made the final 4, which he's kind of having a career season at 6 wins.
Wow.
So they look to battle it out. For me personally, I can see Byron winning it out because he's just having a fantastic season. And being that Phoenix is a shorter track, he has a better shot at it. And then the sad news, Kevin Harvick's final race is this upcoming weekend.
Is he retiring?
Yes, he is. After over 22 years now in Cup Series.
Great career.
Very great career. And I'm in tears because he is one of my favorite drivers besides Ryan Blaney.
Prove it.
And Phoenix.
Prove the tears.
Do you want me to start crying
on the show? I need views, man.
That's not happening
Liam
right now.
pinch him or something.
I totally spaced out during No, it was like if we roll it back, you look back at it, my eyes are just in the distance.
That's me when Liam's talking about hockey.
Basically, you're boring.
Anyways, so Kevin Harvick's final race is this upcoming weekend in Phoenix. Phoenix is his best track. He holds the track record of 9 wins at Phoenix. So
imagine the story.
It would be
his
amazing.
last race, Phoenix is his best track. His last race is on his best track. In record 9 wins, make it an even 10.
That's what I'm saying.
It's scripted. It has been written.
Scripted.
Make it happen.
I actually, we were talking about me almost meeting Ryan Blaney. I almost met Kevin Harvick too.
Well, how'd that one go, Brody?
Actually, it was very cool. Just seeing him in person was very cool. But real quick story, I got garage passes to Road America, which is a track in Wisconsin. Shout out Road America. It was 2021. NASCAR was there for the first time for Cup Series, and Kevin Harvick was running the Xfinity Series race. I got garage passes and pit passes for Xfinity Series, and I was next to Kevin Harvick's car for the Xfinity Series, and he walked out. He started he was pretty much busy talking to his team and talking about getting a setup ready for the race. Didn't actually get to meet him, but I was maybe 10 feet away from him, which was super cool.
So close yet again, Brody.
Very close.
So close again. Well, hey, NASCAR final week of the year. I know we've got some NASCAR fans still out there. My brother's a huge NASCAR fan. He's a friend of the show, watches the show. Thanks, Charlie Breit. Moving on, guys. The NBA started up again. The Bucks are back, 1-1. A huge win over the 76ers in Game 1. Their following game lost to the Hawks. Dame Lillard's on the Bucks now, guys. We talked about it. 39 points in his debut. 6 points in the second game. Very big difference there.
Now, I'm upset about the fact that he did very well. Not because I'm not a fan of the Bucks. I am. I don't follow basketball as much as I do other sports. I'm upset that he did so well is because the guy that I'm facing currently in fantasy basketball did draft Dame. And
yeah, that'll do it.
I was winning at one point, and then he dropped.
And Dame popped off?
Yeah, and then Dame popped off.
We probably should have played him this past week. I mean, he put up 6 points total.
It was a rough game for him.
Yeah. So they play the Heat tonight, Monday, but no, this is Tuesday. Liars. So we don't know the result of that game.
So they played them yesterday.
Yeah, and the last time I called a game in hopes that they would, go the way I said it would.
I wonder how that happened.
I was wrong,
what
so I'm not going to do that again and make myself look stupid on this show.
What happened, Frankie?
What happened? The Vikings won, and they continued to win, and now Kirk Cousins has a torn Achilles.
By the way, okay, so on the show we kind of like to joke around. I'm going to tell you this. Nothing brought me more joy. I don't care that the Packers lost. Seeing him blow his Achilles out.
That brought you joy?
That did bring me a little bit of joy.
I hate the Vikings. But I don't hate Kirk Cousins.
How can you say that?
I feel bad for Kirk Cousins because he was having a great season.
Me too.
And he's
do.
kind of one of those
incarnation of Satan. I don't care.
He's 35 years old, putting up MVP numbers this year, changing all the history books, the storylines about him.
If he did it against any other team, probably would have cared, but it was against the Packers, so,
I mean, I knew once he went down, we had a chance to come back in that game. We threw it away anyway. We'll get into that. But Kirk Cousins, non-contact Achilles tear injury. Kenny Clark was the closest guy to making the play. He tries to scramble. You saw on the replay, steps, entire calf buckles.
I mean, you could just see it.
The first thing I did was text these two because I remember watching the Rodgers torn Achilles and watching
exactly
it
the
so
same.
many times because I'm invested in Aaron Rodgers and seeing his calf buckle and them saying like, oh, that's what that shows an Achilles tear. Saw it on the broadcast and I was like, that man does not have an ankle injury. That man has a torn Achilles.
Do you think that he goes to talk to Aaron Rodgers and both of them rehabilitate it together now?
You know what?
I don't see it out of the question.
I don't see it out of the question either, but Rodgers did have a very experimental procedure, which looks like it's really turning out in a positive way. So maybe it does actually change the landscape for what players do. Kirk Cousins could end up going that way. And if the Vikings make the playoffs, maybe he's ready by January, February, based on what it looks like with Aaron Rodgers. We'll see.
It'd be close.
It'd be close. So
Well, maybe it's like the new standard surgery, like
Right.
Tommy John became.
right,
the
that's
standard
my
surgery.
point though in this conversation. Is their year over?
Yeah.
Unless-
Well, the Vikings, I don't think are going to make the playoffs.
The trade deadline is today.
Well, who are they going to trade for?
I'll tell you later.
We'll get to it.
I'll tell you later.
Which
Which is why I think their year potentially is not over. I think
Really?
their year just got extremely more difficult, but I still think they have an equal chance for that 7th seed like everybody
I
else
was
does
going to
right
say,
now.
I say if they do get a quarterback who, has the experience, they could have a chance. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's
Yeah.
completely over for them, but like you said, it'd be really hard for them.
I'll be the pessimist. Your year is completely over. They're not winning everything.
I mean,
they're going to miss the playoffs.
without a quarterback right now and no running game, legit no running game, it's going to be difficult. And, of course, they did score a rushing touchdown the first of the year against the Packers because the Packers, every single week, I feel like are giving up a record.
Yep.
All the time, the broadcast comes in with, this has never happened in this long, and yada, yada, yada. And then it happens against the Packers. Before we jump into the Packers game, the Panthers won their first game of the season. They are now 1-6. There are no more undefeated or unwinnable. What's the word I'm looking for? Unwinnable? That's what I was going
I
to
don't
say.
know.
That's wrong.
They finally have their
Winless.
first win.
Winless.
They're
There's
finally no longer
winless
winless.
teams
Yeah.
in the league. The Panthers defeated the Houston Texans 13-12. I believe.
15,
Oh, they put a field goal up?
15-13.
15-13. They put a field
Field
goal
goal
up.
to win the game.
I see you. Yeah,
Good
yeah.
job, Texans. Proud of you.
CJ Stroud, what happened, man? Will Anderson, what happened?
They went to a bad
Anyway,
team.
guys,
That's what
Packers game. We lost 24-10 against the Vikings. Losing streak has continued.
Do we
are
got to
now,
talk about it?
We'd have to.
Sadly.
We're
We
now
have to.
2-5. Looking at the stats, Jordan Love, 24 of 41, 229 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That was not his fault. Shout out Jaden Reed for fumbling that into somebody else's hands.
Good job, Jaden.
Aaron Jones, another quiet game, 7 rushes, 29 yards. A.J. Dillon, 6 for 11. Receiving game, Jaden Reed still had a good day. Would have gone over 100 yards if he did catch that pass. 4 receptions, 83 yards. A.J. Dillon had a great day out of the backfield. 5 receptions, 41 yards in that short passing game. Shout out A.J. Dillon for continuing to play well. Guys, this team is right there. It is right on the verge of being successful, and that what came down to it was missed opportunities. Quay Walker dropped a pick, which would have set us up in scoring position.
That one hurt. That one really hurt.
Receiver drops. I think we had close to 10 drops, and no bigger than Dontavian Wicks was, I think it was our first red zone drive of the fourth quarter. 2nd and 5, slant route to Wicks, would have run in for a touchdown, if not for a first down. Hits him right between the numbers, falls to the ground, and we go for it. 3rd, 4th down, don't pick up the first. And then we're back to square one. Fumble recovery in the red zone setup, no points. Obviously the red zone.
That one frustrated
Yeah,
me.
red zone was very tough, and that was
They got to capitalize.
and that was after the Kirk Cousins injury, so it was 24-10. We had so many opportunities to close that game out.
You were thinking in that moment, oh my God, we got a chance.
Because we blocked the field goal.
Yeah.
Blocked the field goal, go down the field. Dontavian Wicks sells out entirely. And we lose that game on that drive. Following drive, no points. And that was pretty much the game. Rasheed Walker, left tackle, stinks. I think he plays for the other team every single week. You can count on him having 3 calls against him weekly. They did put Yosh Nijman in finally, but he did go down with an injury in the fourth quarter.
Oh, come on, dude.
And then receivers not being physical at the point of the catch. In contested catches, I think we're like 7 of 40 or something on the year. It's really bad. Jaden Reed, Christian Watson are all 0 for whatever on contested catches. Romeo Doubs is the only one with a completed contested catch this season, I believe.
What do you know? He's the one who's got the most experience.
But it's like, you guys, you got to be more physical in this league. Christian Watson especially has the frame to go up and get the ball in double coverage, in single coverage, and he's not bringing it down. Jaden Reed was a great contested catch receiver in college, showed it in the preseason. Not so much so far this year. And then obviously penalties backed us up on almost every drive.
I mean, they had
we're the
8
highest
first half penalties
Yep,
alone.
we're the highest penalized team in the NFL. And it's like, if you just clean up these minor things, if these minor things change, this game could have swung so differently at so many different points in the game.
Not having Rasheed Walker, who decides that the only way he can block is by putting his thumb up underneath of both of the pads.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's where we're at. And I think since this team is so close, and with the trade deadline coming around the corner, I feel like we have reasons to be optimistic. We are 2-5. I still think this team could finish 10-7.
Oh, you weren't joking about that?
No, I was not joking.
Oh, I
about
thought you
that.
were like making a joke.
The Lions and Chiefs are sure losses, I believe, but the Chiefs did just lose to the Broncos.
They did lose to the Broncos, but
So-
we also lost to the Broncos.
But that doesn't make it look as
But we
bad.
put up more points than the Chiefs.
It doesn't look as bad, right?
Who did the Chiefs play? Did they play everybody they normally do? Or?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay.
They definitely did.
Oh, wow.
They definitely
that's
did.
Just on
Now
them.
Mahomes had a flu game, but
I mean, they still lost to the Broncos,
You see
right?
what the Broncos
Yes.
did
The
after
Broncos
the game, by the
beat
way.
us, and it's just like, it makes it feel better. The Broncos they actually prove they're an NFL team.
Did you see what the Broncos did after the game?
play to shake it off.
Yeah.
they really?
As fans were piling out of the stadium, they started playing Taylor Swift.
That's fantastic.
She was not at the game,
She
so you
was
can
not.
blame that on the loss.
But yes, reason for optimism. A.J. Dillon, like I said, continued to look good. Jordan Love played a great game. He looked sharp, and he had some circus act throws, falling over to his right, throws across his body over the middle of the field, Dontavian Wicks, first down. Had the beauty of a throw, under pressure, third down, throws it for a 20-yard completion. Romeo Doubs, sideline catch, called back because of Rasheed Walker. Who else?
Shocker.
On the first drive. Looks good, man. He just
still
needs
the
help.
guy.
He's still
He's
the
still
guy.
the guy.
And Kirk, I'm going to say it again, Kirk Benkert, I'm going to call on him, put out a tweet. What quarterback is successful in Jordan Love's situation right now? What quarterback is going to succeed with what he's got going on around him? I don't know if there is one.
I mean, I could start listing off random names. I don't think it's going to
But they're going to struggle.
Yeah, they're gonna
definitely
struggle.
going to struggle. And the Packers have not made it easy on Jordan Love, and that has nothing to do with his fault.
No. That, no help from the defense. Joe Barry.
And I have a really funny, optimistic point here.
What's that?
No Justin Jefferson. So obviously, we didn't get the one-on-one matchup we're all dying to see, Preston Smith versus Justin Jefferson. But Preston Smith had a pass defense in coverage at the goal line on T.J. Hawkinson.
Woo.
Best corner in the league.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Best corner in the league. He also had 2 sacks, a couple tackles for a loss. He's playing well. He's got 4 sacks on the year. Preston Smith obviously getting old, and a lot of people are saying this team should sell. The Packers should sell. Preston Smith could be one of the guys on the move.
We're going into rebuild.
I loudly will disagree with that.
No, I mean, like, that's what they want us to do.
Yes,
they want us to go into rebuild.
this is not at all the time to sell.
No, me neither.
Why are we selling on the year?
We still have people that I realistically, like you said, probably could get us to
it
at
just
least
makes
9-8. I mean,
no
at least there.
sense to give up on this team. And they're not going to do it. For everybody saying they're going to sell, the media outlet saying they're going to sell, shut your mouth. That's all I got to say about that.
We almost went into another Packer rant there for a
I'm
second.
sorry. It's every week. If they keep losing, that's what you're going to see. Imagine when we win the rant after that.
That might take up an entire episode.
It might. Looking ahead, though, Packers versus Rams. That's our next game. Noon kickoff at Green Bay. Rams just lost a terrible one to the Cowboys. Got utterly destroyed. They are 3-5.
Hate the Cowboys.
We all do.
Except for the Cowboys.
Obviously, though, the Rams have a good passing attack. Puka Nacua came out of nowhere playing lights out. Cooper Kupp's back over there. But something to think about, Stafford was questionable with a thumb last week after injuring his thumb in the game against the Cowboys. We'll see what the injury report says throughout this week if he'll play against the Packers. If he doesn't, I think that gives us a better chance of winning. They're overall an average team, but our defense seems like the perfect matchup for a guy like Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp to just carve out our zone defense. Because Puka Nacua has proved that he can just sit in the zone and make the play. And I think he'll continue to do that against us if the quarterback that we're playing against is going to be great.
Well, if they decide to play Matthew Stafford, they are coming into now fall weather Green Bay, especially it's a frozen tundra now.
Right,
So,
right.
I mean, especially for something where he's going to need to be moving it a lot, it's probably going to injure him
Right.
and
The
not be able
Rams
to do
have played
much.
in Green Bay 3 years in a row in cold weather situations and have lost all
true.
3 times.
And if Stafford does not play, it's Brett Ripien. I mean,
I have no idea
just
who that is.
I mean, who?
Yeah,
exactly.
Former Bronco. I know who
exactly,
he is. But you guys, I want to talk about not keys to success, not keys to victory against the Rams. What do you want to see change?
Fire Joe Barry.
The Packers need to see change, and that is obvious.
It's the defense, man.
That's your go-to here,
That's
Lee?
my go-to.
All right.
Okay, Joe Barry, I know that every so often you pull a great game out of your ass, and it's the funniest thing. And everybody's like, oh, my God, he was the guy all along. But you know what? You suck. You're a bad defensive coordinator. I want to see literally anybody else. I would honestly take anybody.
Bring back Mike Pettin. Bring back Dom Capers, bro.
Man.
Dude, we again are playing 10 yards off coverage on 3rd and 1. Why are we doing this again?
Because Joe Barry sees something none of us see, I guess.
3rd and 10, we're playing 10 yards off coverage at the sticks. Press up. Stop being so afraid. The defense is spotty. They play garbage all day. I don't get this. And then by the 4th quarter against the Vikings, they were playing elite.
Yeah.
Where's the consistency with that? Unreal.
Doesn't exist.
Brody, do you have one that's not listed here, or do you want to go off of one that is?
I'll just go off the one that's listed here. Trade for a left tackle. I mean, Rasheed Walker is not going to win you guys games, especially with all those penalties. Josh Nijman, solid player, but if he's hurt, well, you can't play him.
Yeah.
David Bakhtiari is probably never going to play again, so you can't play him.
Stop, it still hurts.
Sadly, yes. So
We'll never
if
see
you,
number 69 again.
you know, we're talking about, the
Best
trade
number in
deadline
football.
being today. Maybe you go and find a left tackle that will consistently play.
Preferably not from Penn State this time.
Oof.
You know who I want to see the Packers trade for today? Garrett Bowles, left tackle from the Broncos.
Why?
Because he's good and better than Rasheed Walker.
Anybody is better than
wants to get out
Rasheed
of there.
Walker. I can put on 200 pounds and be better than Rasheed Walker.
When they lost like to 70-20 from the Dolphins, he's like literally like, I hate losing, I hate being here, I want to leave. He didn't say that, but like that was essentially the
similar.
vibe.
Well,
And
here's the thing. I could put on 200 pounds, right? And I would
it.
still be what?
do it right now.
And I would still be a better, left
Tackle than Rasheed Walker. My oh my. That's a bold statement. I would love to see
I'm
Garrett
not
Bowles
wrong,
coming
though.
over. We have 2 second-round picks. I don't know if that's the one we're going to use.
Yeah, do we have any draft capital?
We have a first and 2 seconds. And then we have 1 in each of the next round. So I wouldn't say no to sending a second-round pick for Garrett Bowles or a 4th and a player. I don't care. I mean, honestly, Preston Smith is getting old. I don't want to see him leave. I love the guy.
Why don't we send them Rasheed Walker and a pick and then take Garrett Bowles?
There you go. Or send
chance.
Josh Nijman and a pick. That's probably a better trade.
Yeah, but I also like Nijman. So
No, I know, me
Go.
too, and he's not playing, which sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on from the Packers. Good luck against the Rams. Hope to see you turn it around. We will see. The trade deadline is today, like we were saying.
I just saw in the script what you were going to talk about.
Yeah,
Are
yeah,
you
yeah.
kidding me?
Hang on.
You'll get to it.
So it's the trade deadline, and I want to ask you guys for a trade what you guys think is going to happen today. There is one that happened yesterday. Leonard Williams to the Seahawks for a 2024 second-round pick and a 2025 fifth-round pick from the Giants to the Seahawks. Seahawks have had a bumpy defensive line. Leonard hasn't put up the same numbers with the Giants since 2020, but still a great, sure piece on the defensive line. Going to be great to see him on the Seahawks. I think a team that's 5-2 in the Seahawks really just propelled themselves forward in that division with the Niners to be one of the top teams in the NFC, shoring up the defensive line. So a great move there. Do you guys want to hand out a pick, or do you want me to go first?
See, now I'm going to let you go first because my internet just dropped, so I don't know. I can't pull up my thousands of notes. I definitely prepared for this.
There's a couple on here if you're interested. I'll go first. We were talking about earlier. Is the Vikings season over? No, it isn't. You want to know why? Because there's a guy in the Tennessee Titans who isn't playing anymore based on
That's
how Will Levis, the second-round pick for the Titans at
had a good
quarterback, played for that team. We'll get into the stats in a little bit here. Ryan Tannehill is not going to see the field for the Titans the rest of the season, and I guarantee you that.
Really?
You want to know why?
Yes, I do.
Because he's headed to Minnesota. The Vikings trade for Ryan Tannehill before the deadline, sure up at the quarterback position, and keep their season alive with an average quarterback.
Now, is this your prediction, or this already happened?
This is my prediction.
Okay, so
This may happen by noon tomorrow.
I was gonna say.
I like how you are currently like speaking as if it happened.
I'm going to speak it into existence. I don't see why the Vikings don't do this. So you're going to tell me they're going to go sign Carson Wentz?
If I believe hard enough, I won't get Carson Wentz. I'll
Yeah,
get
who do you
Ryan
want?
Tannehill.
Who do you want? If you're that organization,
going with Tannehill. What would you go with
exactly.
anybody else?
And he's probably on the trade block. He's most definitely available, and he's already been in conversations to be traded earlier in the year.
Why doesn't the Titans want him anymore? Like, what happened?
Because you got Malik Willis as a backup, and then Will Levis after a really good game on Sunday.
Oh, I forgot about that.
You already have two young quarterbacks ahead of you. At what point do you just say, well,
Will Levis looks like the dude. He looks like the dude.
He had a fantastic
They're
game.
in those Oilers retro uniforms. They look so sharp. So I think Ryan Tannehill to the Vikings, signed, sealed, delivered. It's happening.
Now, I've got one, okay? Now, this one is definitely not going to happen, but I think would be the funniest thing
Let's hear it.
ever in the history of the world.
Let's
okay.
hear it.
So, Justin Fields is a bad quarterback, objectively, correct? I'm not saying trade Justin Fields, by the way, because I would not wish that on any other organization.
I'm going to hear you. I'm going to hear you.
Their backup, Tyson Bagent, apparently is a good quarterback.
He's decent.
He's apparently better than Justin Fields, which leads me to believe that now with that new thing coming to light, they will either maybe look into exploring options for a certain somebody.
He has so little to go off of, though.
That's true.
He
However,
played one game.
we've seen it before where all of a sudden their backup is the guy, and now they're like,
Brock Purdy,
Brock Purdy, Mr.
who has not
Irrelevant.
been the guy this past week. He had a rough game.
Yeah, he did.
Pretty bad. But we've seen it.
So do you have a specific landing spot for Tyson Bagent, or
I'm not sure who else besides Minnesota is looking for a quarterback right now.
not really anybody is
Yeah.
struggling injury-wise, I don't think, or in like I know that the Falcons benched Desmond Ridder.
They don't know if
Taylor Heineke, baby.
Heineke.
They still don't know if he's the guy. That's the funny thing. Is
Yeah.
like he's good and then he's bad and then he's worse and then he's great. It's the funniest thing.
That's exactly it. That's a great way to put it.
Taylor Heineke, also, he's a Packers fan, just so you know.
We should go get him.
We should go get him. We
We
really
could play like a
should.
Taysom Hill kind of role. Anyway, Brody, what do you got?
So this one's kind of, I kind of found this a little bit. Montez Sweat is Commanders' the end.
Yep.
They might be looking to ship him and maybe Chase Young, because the Commanders are kind of struggling a little bit despite putting up decent numbers at
Great
times.
play by their quarterback, Sam Howell, having a great year.
He's having an underrated season. But they might be shipping maybe. I'm seeing Falcons. Grady Jarrett went down with an injury.
ACL.
Yeah, they did sign Calais Campbell and I believe another guy to help that defensive line. But I can see the Commanders selling off Sweat to the Falcons. I don't know what it would be for, but just to bolster that defensive line and kind of keep them in contention in the NFC South, not the AFC South.
There it is.
You got it. You got it.
Big ups.
So
Yeah, no, I agree. Chase Young's also been right there with them as a kind of name to look at. I think you get huge draft capital for either of them. Other moves to look at, Jonathan Taylor from the Colts did sign an extension, but previously was on the block, or he wanted out. Packers are in the running back market. It was rumored that Jonathan Taylor was coming to the Packers.
They should have traded him. I'm sorry.
That'd have been cool.
I mean,
They wanted Christian Watson.
really?
They wanted Christian Watson for Jonathan Taylor, which I just don't know.
Maybe I
Aaron
don't-
Jones
yeah.
is getting older and kind of been injured so far this year. Jerry Jeudy, receiver for the Broncos, another name to keep an eye on. So, yeah, hopefully today's a good day. It's going to be a very eventful day. But, guys, we have to talk about this past weekend.
Hold on, before you do that, I think you have to film updates. I think you will have to film updates.
You think I should?
Like for shorts, and then
Guys, it happened!
Guys, it happened. I spoke into
Ryan Tannehill! Yeah.
yeah.
Ryan Tannehill suddenly his arm swells in size and he leads them all the way to
He
the Super
turns
Bowl.
purple.
He turns purple.
Yeah,
He
literally.
goes horns
Leads
out of his
purple.
head.
Yeah.
Literally.
We'll have to wait and see, guys. Maybe that'll happen. But, Pointers football had a game this
28
past
points.
week. Put up 28 points on offense, the highest of the season
Yes,
since
sir.
St. Norbert.
That's crazy.
It's against the WIAC opponent
Yeah,
too.
I mean, they did give up 66.
Don't care. We still got up. That's 4 touchdowns, baby. We did something.
They dropped 1-7 on the season, ranked bottom of the WIAC. What else is new? But looking at some stats here, guys, overall it was not a bad game for the offense. Jake Lier, 20 of 33, 220 yards, a career high, 4 touchdown passes. Shout out Jake Lier. Way to play.
Shout out Jake Lier.
I feel like he came off River Falls, got benched. Steven Strider goes out there. I don't think he got benched, but they were just moving on to like the second stringers. But I think you saw Steven Strider kind of ball out, and he says, I got to have a good game.
Yeah.
And he went out there and put up career-high numbers. Shout out Jake Lier. Bryson Cashin finally popped off. 81 yards on the ground on 12 attempts, long of 33. The Pointers ran for 144 yards on the ground. They passed for 220. Matt Getchin emerged as a tight end target, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. Bryson Cashin had a touchdown through the air as well. Quiet player in this week, Myles Gallagher. We hyped him up last week, but he's still the GOAT.
Still the GOAT.
Not going to drop that one. Not going to hop off that bandwagon. What went wrong, guys? They give up 500 yards.
Yeah, I'll do it.
That'll do it.
It wasn't as bad as River Falls, though.
No.
But-
And I don't really want to focus on the bad of this game, you know?
This was a
I
better
actually
game.
do have a question, though, because
Sure.
I was not able to watch this game. I was busy with some other things last Saturday. So, did we, as the defense, did we finally pick something and stick with it, or did we just kind of suck in all areas again?
I mean, 8 touchdowns were given up.
That's true, but were they all rushing? Were they like most of them rushing touchdowns?
No,
or,
a lot of passing touchdowns.
But did we stop the run game?
Only 1 TD.
I guess for the
201
most
yards
part.
only.
Well, no, they didn't then.
No, not really.
That's how you get to 500, I guess.
Okay.
200 plus 300.
I was trying to look for something because that was
Something to highlight on the
yeah,
defense.
it was like, it was, our advice is
it's
like
not
maybe,
there.
Maybe they shut down the run defense.
They
maybe.
watch the show.
Yeah, maybe.
We should listen to those guys.
should listen.
Yes.
Those bums.
I feel
Yeah.
like because of the fact that first off, it wasn't 70 points, so that's a
Yes.
that's a
start.
plus.
Yeah.
Then also 28 of our own points. That's also
That
pretty
was
good.
huge, and you're going to need that kind of offensive performance the next 2 weeks.
Kind of, maybe, sort of. We're
growing.
figuring some stuff
We're
out.
growing. Oshkosh
Maybe-
is no pushover.
Yeah.
And they put up 28 points through the air. Great
maybe
job,
we're,
that
maybe
team.
we're adjusting or
Yeah,
something.
I agree. And that's my optimism here is we played an effective game on offense. That's half the battle.
Yeah.
That is.
Now bring the defense along.
Because the defense has been out there for 60 minutes basically every day.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. You guys, we play Whitewater next week. Who's excited?
Wow, they're completely opposite as us.
Yeah, so we're 1-7. Whitewater is 7-1, coming off a win over Platteville. They're 4-1 in the conference. And guys, this is this is a tough game. I was gonna say it's no tough game, but not be a lie.
Yes or no? Do you think they play their starters?
Whitewater?
Yeah.
Oh, they play their starters.
Oh, okay.
They'll play their starters.
They'll play their starters.
All right.
Guys, keys to success to continue the growth. I'm not even talking about a win. To talk about the growth of this team. Build on air success. Keep going through the air. The guy's on fire. Pinpoint accuracy. Keep calling that.
He's actually a good quarterback.
And I don't want to see don't chuck it 40 yards every play. They found some success with that, with Myles Gallagher this season. But Matt Getchin, big tight end, big frame. Keep feeding him. He's been open a lot, and I think that could be a great outlet for them.
The short passes.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly. Short to medium. I mean, I think you got to make that the bread and butter of this team.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, what do we got? Keys to success.
So with the defense, we're talking about the defense just not really having a set, motive. I would say just get creative with it. Like we said, nothing is really working. I mean, you're giving up almost 70 points every week, but for a team like this, heading into the offseason soon, why not just try something new and maybe
Blow it
sticks.
up.
Yeah, exactly.
Try something new.
Something
nuts.
Everybody on the field blitzes at the same time.
Exactly.
Maybe it
Field goal
works for
block
next
every
year.
play.
Just try to figure out something that'll work these next 2 weeks, really. And, it won't be perfect, but just getting a chance to look at maybe next season what might work, why not try it this year?
Because you're already giving up 50-plus points weekly.
Yeah.
So just do something out there.
Like I said, everybody in the field blitzes. Why not? What's
Yeah.
the worst that honestly could happen?
This team rarely calls a blitz.
And when they
that might
do,
be the
it
thing.
kind of works.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much every time.
That's what I'm saying, man. I think we play so far off the line of scrimmage constantly, and I think if you just push that up, Joe Barry, pointers,
Crazy.
just see what happens. Liam, you got anything?
Well, okay, so come here. The season is over. All right. Now, I'm sorry that I put that very bluntly. That is actually how it's written down here.
I did that.
So, like, have fun, man. You know, you're playing, you're having fun. That kind of contradicts just a little bit of what we said last week. You know, still take it serious, but you know, there are no bowl games that many. There is actually a couple bowl games for D3. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
There's actually a couple bowl games.
Will we get one?
No, because we're 1-7. So even normally we wouldn't qualify. Even if we were
we
D1,
could go
we
3-7, guys. We could still win 2 games. It's still a possibility.
But have fun, man. I mean, a lot of you are seniors, so just enjoy your last year. Go out on top.
Yeah,
about it.
Play for each other. Go out there and just try to find some team synergy, something you guys can all be proud of together, knowing that you've grown. Good luck to the Pointers against Whitewater this coming week. We got lacrosse on the final week following the Whitewater game. So with that, let's put a cap on football. And guys, it's Halloween. We got to talk about something spooky.
Can I go first?
Yes, please. We have spooky stories, scary good performances, scary coincidences. What's on your mind? Scare me, Liam.
So, I'm sure both of you are very well aware of the Paul Bunyan Axe game played annually. Really? Are you actually not? Are you just doing that?
I don't know what it is, viewers. Well, tell the viewers what it is.
Okay. So the Paul Bunyan Axe game is the annual game. It's like the regular season. It's like every regular season game that Minnesota Golden Gophers faces Wisconsin Badgers.
Typically
in
like
football.
the last game of the season.
Yeah, it is typically near the end. It's always pretty much always snowing. Pretty cool. Anyways, they fight over a trophy called the Paul Bunyan's axe. It's just a big old axe that's one side's red, the other side's that ugly like piss yellow that Minnesota uses for their colors.
Or like burgundy.
It's burgundy. It's terrible. It's awful.
Y'all are gross.
Anyways, it's like their ceremonial trophy. And fights have actually been started about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So one of the years we won. Go Wisconsin, better than Minnesota.
Wisconsin.
Ceremonially, you chop down both goalposts. Chop. And we went to go do it to Minnesota, and Minnesota was like, if you do it, we're just going to kick the shit out of you.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, so they kicked the shit out of us, but we kicked the shit out of them. So, I mean, but before that, pre-World War II, because the Paul Bunyan Axe was introduced in 1948, before that, it was kept on a slab of bacon.
That's
called the slab of bacon. It was a big old slab of bacon, not like edible bacon. It was, preserved basically.
Yeah.
But it was, inscribed on like the wooden thing it sat beneath.
Oh my gosh.
It went missing.
Oh no.
They couldn't find it. Wisconsin won the game. They're like, yeah, we've got the trophy, and then it's been lost to time. That was until like 1996 when they found it in like a worker's shed outside the stadium.
Just over there.
Yeah, they opened it up, and here's the thing. It went missing, pre-World War II. Somebody was keeping scores up until 1970.
No way.
So somebody was still seeing this thing, knowing what it was, keeping track of the scores until 1970.
That's crazy.
Was it? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. They just found it in a shed. Some weird guy, some mole man, was just writing down the scores on it and like scribing it onto it, and they found it.
Why wouldn't you tell somebody?
If you're telling me that you found a really cool slab of bacon, you wouldn't also keep that for yourself?
Is it the ghost of the Paul Bunyan game?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows? It's scary though. Like who the heck is doing that? And not telling anybody?
Where are they? And they never found who it was?
No, they just found it in a shed.
Oh, hey, that's where that is. That's where we
that's
put
where it's
that.
been.
Oh, that's where that went missing.
Wait, who kept
50 years
writing on
ago.
that, though? Well, did you? No, it was me.
50 years ago. That's where that's where I put that. Ah, man. I have to look it all over for that.
That's where Bill put that. Oh, Bill's dead. Sorry.
Jesus.
Brody. I'm not scared enough. Scare me, man.
So
That wasn't scary?
Down in
Give me
Milwaukee,
something more, man.
the Brewers play in Milwaukee.
Really?
That's crazy, right?
What?
Milwaukee Brewers play in Milwaukee.
Anyways, so how teams get the hotels and whatever just to stay in for the weekend or weekdays for games or whatever. A lot of teams get put in the haunted Pfister Hotel down in Milwaukee.
Why?
Because I don't know if it's cheap enough for them. I mean,
Dude,
not that it's a big deal.
Why
but
would they do that?
They just get put in there. So
No choice. You have to stay there.
There's a lot of stories from a lot of different players.
Let's hear 'em.
Bryce Harper, former MVP, big name in the sport.
Bum.
said that
Really? Not a fan of Breit Sarver?
in 2012, he was staying in the Pfister Hotel. He had laid out shirt and pants on a table by the end of his bed before going to sleep. He woke up in the morning, and the clothes were on the floor, and the table was like on the opposite side of the room. I believe he just said he was by himself in the room, and like he must have locked the door or something. So that happened in his room.
No
A couple
way.
other stories, such as former Brewer Mike Cameron. He was hearing noises in the middle of the night. Other players like Carlos Gomez, he's scared the hotel because of just noises that they hear, like a lot of footsteps. Guys like now World Series pitcher John Gray for the Rangers, he actually went into the hotel and investigated because he got.
Oh, really? He went full ghost hunter?
He
Good for him.
became fascinated with ghost hunting. So in 2016, they were playing the Brewers. He went and just investigated it.
Any proof? Did he find anything?
I don't think he did.
That's so bogus.
But it's just they hear noises.
It's just like workers inside of the walls. Dude. Come on.
Could be.
You're telling me you've never had a maid when you're staying at a hotel come into your room unannounced and throw your stuff everywhere?
I can't
Not
say that's
yet.
happened to me.
Not yet.
So that, I guess, is my haunted story, but it made sense to talk about it since it's in our home state and.
See, now I'm a little the hairs the back of my neck are ready to
spooky
stand
because it
up.
actually happened.
Well, this actually happened.
This
that
could
was
actually-
easily explained.
I want to ask about this though. In baseball, are they required as a home team to stay in a hotel like in the NFL?
I would.
It's the dumbest rule.
Wait, what?
I would maybe think
so. The Packers, if they're playing at Lambeau, you're required as a player to stay at a hotel the night before, just like the away team, until 2 a.m. And then after 2 a.m., you can go home. I heard this from Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers would stay at the hotel till 2 a.m. and then go home and sleep the rest of the night in his own bed. Why does the NFL require teams to do
Because
that?
the NFL sucks.
It's crazy. Are they trying to get the same advantage, but they can also leave and go to their own?
They all stay in the same hotel, I believe, as a team, because the road, they all kind of travel as a team, so they might all stay in a hotel as a team.
But
Milwaukee.
even in during their home games in the NFL, the team is required to stay in a hotel.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, but until 2 a.m., then you can go home.
That's weird.
The NFL making up complicated reasons and rules that should not exist.
It is what
That's
it is.
crazy.
For my scary story, I have one scary performance for all of you, which put the entire AFC on notice. Will Levis, 238 yards, 4 touchdowns, 130.5 QBR. Dude, he's a man.
Not scared.
He looks like the man in the AFC right now. DeAndre Hopkins, 3 touchdowns. Imagine they get D-Hop going again.
They're almost they almost thought about trading him too.
He looked so washed, but it was just Ryan Tannehill's fault. Go to the Vikings, please. It's a ploy. But Will Levis.
I'll pay you $2 of my own money to go to
True.
the Vikings.
Me too. That's $4. Brody.
I can contribute.
That's $6.
One.
Okay, $5.
What about Keaton? Keaton from the booth, any money?
Keaton from the booth.
$1.
$1. We got you up to $6. But man, Will Levis looked sharp. He looked really sharp, and like we said, in those Oilers uniforms.
It looked good.
And the biceps were out.
There's a better Oilers team, though.
No, I know. Shut your mouth.
It's your favorite team, though.
Yeah, that's true. Edmonton.
They don't know that yet.
Not yet.
Yeah,
Not yet.
Aired yet.
Throwing that in.
Go Edmonton. We'll have to see if he can recreate that success, but to have that on Halloweekend, maybe he's just a fraud and he was playing a good quarterback for Halloween. And next week he's going to go back to being Will Levis. Who knows?
Mayo in his coffee.
Does he really?
Yes.
Oh, no.
That was the big
weird
thing
one.
about him. Mayo in his coffee, he eats bananas with the full peel on it.
Part of the reason he fell to the second round is because he was a weird
Oh,
guy.
that guy puts mayo in his coffee.
Yeah.
He's like a first round pick.
Exactly.
I mean, you think it's not something they look
You know
at,
what?
but
That should have been your story. That's what's scary.
they put mayo in his
he's
coffee.
terrifying. Yeah, he's just a weird dude.
My story wasn't scared of that some mole man kept scores and stole a slab of bacon.
The bacon's the weirdest part.
Yeah.
Shout out Will Levis. Hope to see you succeed and keep up the good work with the Titans. Are they in the AFC?
AFC South.
Yeah.
AFC South.
Sorry, I can't check. I don't have
I'm pretty
internet.
sure that division's pretty tight, right?
Yes, because the
'Cause
Jaguars are
Houston-
kind of struggling. Houston's kind of
They just won, though. I think they're 5-2.
It's true, they did.
Jaguars are on top of that division, but the rest of it's pretty close.
Yeah.
T-Law.
Yeah. T-Law, baby.
Colts are struggling a little bit, but not
Yeah.
great.
It's the Colts.
High-scoring games week in and week out, though. You
Yeah,
know, they're
it's true.
competitive, so they're losing tough games. Thank you guys for the spooks. I'm terrified. I can't sleep tonight.
Spook
Halloween.
silly.
So scared. Hockey time.
All right.
Not Mr. Hockey.
Not Mr. Hockey. Well, it was Mr. Hockey misspelled, right?
Yeah.
It was.
I don't know what I'm calling you now.
Mr. Hikoki.
Sure.
Just please start talking.
Okay, all right. Well, the Point hockey team has their home opener tonight against St. Norbert. St. Norbert is not ranked. They did receive votes to be ranked, though.
And who's on commentary, Liam?
It's going to be me.
And
that guy.
Brody.
Is that his name?
I guess.
I guess that's my
All right.
You
name.
can catch him on 90
That
FM. WWSP Stevens Point.
Yeah. Please tune in. Please do that. It'd be really cool if you did. I'll give you another $2 of my own money.
I will contribute 50 cents.
What about Keaton this time? Keaton
Keaton from the booth. Keaton from the booth.
No, he won't. No,
No money.
No
He's got
money.
like maybe 50 cents.
0.5.
Yeah.
All right, so that's $3, Brody.
I can give like 10 cents.
All right, 310.
Almost $4. All right. Anyways, we are ranked number 5 now. We did drop a spot. That is only because we have not played a single game yet.
Every other team in the top
Hey.
15 have played a game.
Every single
One or two
other team.
games at least.
And yet we're still 5th?
Yes.
Yep.
Put respect on the name. Let's go.
We're just that good. I mean, we're just that good. I don't
That's
know what to
right.
tell you.
I don't know. Yeah.
I also
don't
want to
tell me
point out
anything.
UW Eau Claire moved up in the rankings after beating
To number
Augsburg. And River Falls also got votes. More votes than last week, even. St. Norbert got less votes from the week before, so maybe something's happening. Who knows?
Who knows?
We'll figure that out.
UW-Madison is a hockey school now. They're not a football school.
Did they win this past week?
No,
Oh,
they lost
no.
really, but I think they also lost 24-10 against Ohio State. So.
My favorite
was a
thing,
close game.
My favorite thing is every year, week 1, we win, and everyone says, we're so back.
And then the week after that, we lose to a non-conference opponent, and
We lose
Just
the rest of the,
the
year.
season-
Every
done.
single time.
Yeah.
UW-Madison is a hockey school now. Badger men's hockey sweeps. Number 1 Minnesota.
let me
Sweeps.
repeat that.
They didn't win.
Sweep.
Can I say it?
Yeah.
They swept them.
They swept them. Now, Minnesota fell to number 6, despite the fact that they are 3-3. They only fell to number 6. That is some of that good old-fashioned nepotism and the fact that they can't understand, it's Minnesota. They're always good. They have to be at least top 10. Come on. It's like Alabama. Alabama
It's
can
true.
go 0 for whatever college kind of is, like 12
Yeah.
games. And go 0 for 12. They'll still be number 3.
Right.
Like, it's just the way it is.
who they are.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
Anyways, Minnesota, you suck. We're the state of hockey now. Badgers jump up 9 spots. They're number 5 now.
Yeah!
Like
huge.
all the way into Power
Respect
5.
on the name.
Yeah, seriously.
huge.
Top 5 matchup this weekend against number 4 Michigan. I am going to be at that game, so I will let you know what happens. Going to be
Take
very
some
fun.
pictures for the show.
I
all right?
will. Also, I betcha. I've been going to hockey game. I've been going to these hockey games since I was like 3. I bet you that now when I get there, because we're doing well, the stadium's going to be packed. Hasn't been packed the last 3 years when we've been doing crap, but now when we come here and now we're doing fine, everybody's going to be there because they're fair weather fans.
That's the Midwest promise. You
That's-
betcha.
You betcha.
You betcha.
You betcha.
You betcha.
You betcha.
Badger women's hockey, and I'm very sorry I haven't mentioned them because they are the best hockey team I've ever seen. Ever.
Really?
They're 10-0.
That is so cool.
That's awesome.
They haven't lost. That currently means that they are on a 23-game, 20. No,
It don't matter what you say
13.
next,
He still
but
has to think about it.
13-game win streak because
that's really cool.
they won their last 3 games because of the NCAA tournament last year.
Yeah.
So that's nuts. That
shout out
is
women's
insane.
hockey at Madison. I was going to say at Badgers.
At Badger.
At Badgers. Known university.
It's past my bedtime.
Seriously, best hockey team I've ever seen in my life. That is an
Yeah.
insane stat to have that you're 10-0, that you have
It-
not
it-
lost.
Yes.
Can we get someone, like, what are they drinking? Like, we get some in the water over here?
Oh,
For
For
points
football, not for hockey. Hockey, you do you. You're doing great, but
No, Mark Johnson is one of the best hockey coaches I've ever had the privilege of.
does he know how to coach football?
I hope.
Moving on to the NHL, there are no more undefeated teams.
We did it.
We're at that point of the year.
The Knights finally lost, and I'm shut up. You shut up.
Who'd they lose to?
They lost to the Blackhawks.
I was really going to be said Edmonton. I would have been like,
They lost to the Blackhawks, and I did kind of talk crap about the Blackhawks all of this year so far.
because
So.
they're not a good team this year.
No, they're not.
When was the
We
last?
lost in overtime, okay? We lost in overtime, all right? That's a little bit better. We don't have a regulation loss yet.
When was the last time they were good? The Blackhawks.
2014. is when they
Oh,
lost.
that's a long time, Liam.
It's about 10 years.
And they lost.
Man.
I'm so sorry.
I'm going to save him
You know what?
from punching you.
You know what? Pull it up right now because I don't have internet. What's the Edmonton? What's the record at? Let me see it.
Edmonton
I'm
is
putting it into the script right now.
While we wait, what else is going on?
Blackhawks starting to get productive.
Edmonton 2-5-1.
Ha!
It
2
is
wins.
2-5-1.
Same as the Packers. I'm a 2-win team.
It's fair.
I'm a 2-win team kind of guy.
Avs and Bruins are. I think the Avs now have 2 losses. They're on a little bit of a skid, but they're still up there. They're 6-2 right now.
6-2.
Bruins are 7-1.
7-0-1.
7-0-1, so same record as the Knights. They also don't have a regulation loss, which is pretty good. Canucks, surprise contender. Literally came out of left field. I had no idea that they were going to be
that's
this good. Yeah, there you
Canucks.
go. Well, because last year they were the worst team. The fans were literally throwing their jerseys on the ice and telling
Were they
people
really?
to sell.
It was
That
bad.
is so cool.
Well, that's Canadian hockey for you. The last time the Canucks went to the Stanley Cup, they rioted just because they were in the Stanley Cup, and then they rioted more when they lost.
Actually, though,
How much is a jersey in Canada?
Like $20.
That's why they're throwing the jerseys on the
Well,
on the
they
ice,
were
'cause
also
they can afford it.
fed up. They were fed up with their team. They were.
But can you imagine buying these jerseys are $120?
And they're
There's
throwing it
no
on the ice.
chance I'm throwing this on the ice.
That was part of it, though. Is like, we're so fed up with you and the fact that you're stink
Yeah.
that we're gonna throw it on the ice, and then all of a sudden now they're 5-2-1. So
Good turnaround for them.
yes, absolutely. Like probably the best turnaround I've ever seen of any sport.
Fantastic.
They might actually be good again, and I really don't like saying that. The Canucks might be good. So
Brody, your favorite team?
Maple Leafs are currently 5-2-1. They look to play the Kings on Halloween night tonight. So,
Will the Knights and Maple Leafs play this year?
Oh, yeah,
eventually.
So usually how the NHL schedule is 82 games in a season, so it's a lot of games.
Yeah.
They at least have to play everybody in their division twice and everybody in the league at least once. So
Yeah.
no matter what, at
Got
some
it.
point
Okay.
you will face each other.
Very cool. Very cool.
they play the Golden Knights.
Pretty far down.
I was going to say it's very late in the season.
SportsPoint live stream?
It's crazy. It's like the day before my birthday.
Oh, we have a birthday celebration for Brody, too.
celebration.
All right, live stream Brody celebration with the hockey game.
When the Knights
It's-
win against the Maple Leafs.
You heard it here first, folks.
Heartbreaking.
We'll see.
It's a late game, though.
It's confirmed. though.
It's a 9 p.m.
confirmed.
game because it's in Vegas.
It
so.
is because
Okay,
yeah,
well,
because unfortunately
I'm going to
Vegas.
unconfirm that. Anything else from the hockey world, Liam?
No, that is it. Only that hockey is the best sport, and please
gonna say it every
show
week.
up tomorrow or tonight. Technically tonight. Show up tonight to support your Stevens Point Pointers. Wear white or your Halloween costume. Please be there.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the Pointers hockey opener. Like we said, Liam and Brody will be on the SportsPoint hockey stream on 90 FM through WWSP Stevens Point. You guys excited for that one? That's going to be really cool, right?
We love the hockey games.
All right, man.
Business casual.
And Pointer Studios, SSPTV, will be live streaming to YouTube throughout the season. We have got to get that schedule out for when we can go do it for all you guys. So stay tuned for that. But with that, thank you so much for watching this episode of Sports Point. Thank you so much to our producer in the booth, Keaton Waala, floor manager, Aminee Hoff, so supportive of this show. We're having a lot of fun. Stay tuned for new segments. We got a lot of stuff in the works, sponsorships, surprise guests. It's going to be great. From myself, Frankie Breit, Brody Kupsky, Liam Statz, thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for tuning in from all of us at Sports Point. We will see you next week.